Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for the likes, the comments, and for subscribing. I am so happy. In case if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click on the notification button to be notified anytime I drop a new video. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up. In this video, I'll be updating you on Ranbir decides to marry Prachi. Oh my God. In case if you have not seen all the upcoming updates I've been dropping, the last one was Shahana replaces Prachi on the mandap. Let's go. The episode starts with Sid coming to Ranbir. Ranbir tells him that Mihika is safe in the hospital, though she's critical, but will be fine. He says, I will make everything fine. Sid asks him not to go. Ranbir says Mihika is safe now. You shall send me to expose Rhea and Aliyah. Prachi comes there and asks Sid if Ranbir knows where Mihika is. Ranbir says, you have no right to ask me. Sid tells Ranbir and Prachi that he's getting Aryan's message that everyone is searching him. Ranbir and Prachi don't hear him and look at each other. Sid thinks he shall go back. Ranbir says she shall say sorry rather than showing her eyes. Prachi says, you do mistake and I shall apologize. Ranbir says, it was traumatizing for me to see you agreeing to marry Sid. Prachi says, I was helpless and didn't want to separate a child from his father. Ranbir says, you should have told me or give me hints. Prachi says, if you have trusted me, then wouldn't have asked me to go and marry Sid. He says, you have done a big mistake by hiding this from me. She says, you have done a big mistake by not trusting her. She says, how did you think that I will marry Sid? Ranbir says, you were standing with Sid and asked if brother and sister do this. Prachi says, I always see Sid as my brother, and says, if you have trusted me, then wouldn't have doubted me. Sid comes there and shows video to Ranbir, in which goons are standing at Mihika's side in the hospital. Ranbir says, I will not leave them, and turns to go inside. He goes inside and asks Rhea and Aliyah, when would their bloody game end? Pallavi asks, where was he? Ranbir asks, since when do I have an important role in your plan? Aliyah thinks Sid told him everything. Ranbir says, I came to know your plan in plotting and torturing. Pallavi asks, what are you saying? Ranbir says, I came to know about their plan. He asks Prachi to go ahead and tell everything about their plan. Shahana comes in front of them in bridal attire and says, your husband is with you, and asks her to tell the truth. Rhea asks her to be quiet. Ranbir tells Prachi that if she stays silent today, then they will accuse you. Aliyah is about to call. Ranbir snatches phone from her hand and says, no drama today. Sid snatches phone from Rhea and says, no more game. Vikram asks Ranbir to tell. Ranbir says, this story starts from Prachi and my relation. He says Rhea and Aliyah had problem with our relation, and that's why they planned to get Sid and Prachi married. Sid never wanted to marry Prachi, so they conveniently kidnapped Mihika and threatened Sid that they will kill Mihika if he doesn't call Prachi's baby as his. He says they have sacrificed. He says Prachi didn't know Mihika but decided to sacrifice her relation with me to save her. He tells that Rhea and Aliyah are talented and manipulators. Look how she's crying. Rhea says he's crying. Ranbir says it is good that I found her, else you would have gotten her killed. Rhea shouts. Ranbir tells Pallavi that he was a naughty child in childhood, but he had never lied. This is his quality. He says he's not lying. Rhea says, you proved your point. Now it is my turn. She takes knife in her hand and says, whatever you are saying about Buji and me, you are lying, and says, if you say anything wrong against me, then I swear that I will cut my hand. Ranbir says, cut your hand. Rhea says, I hate lies. Ranbir says, I hate you. He says, you called her manipulative, characterless, bad, etc. and says all these words can be used for you. Rhea slits her hand and falls down. Prachi holds her. Rhea says, I can clarify, but I thought suicide is more good as you will be responsible for my death. Aliyah says, I will call the police and will get Ranbir arrested. Rhea says, you don't have him in your hands, so how can you get him? She says, even if I go away from this world, then also I will not let you unite with him. She closes her eyes. Prachi shouts. It turns out to be Prachi's imagination. Imagination ends. She shouts. Sid asks, are you okay? Ranbir asks, what happened? Prachi asks him not to go inside and asks him to swear not to go inside. She says, go to hospital and bring Mihika and DNA report to Rhea. She says, if we don't have Mihika and report, then we can't expose them. Ranbir says, I will go and bring both and ask Sid to promise that he will not let this marriage happen. Sid says, even if I die, I will not let this marriage happen. Ranbir tells Prachi that she shall keep all answers ready. He will ask her. He lives in car. Prachi asks Sid to come from other side and says, if we go together, then people will know. Ranbir stops his car and asks Sid not to go to Mandap and come outside. He says he's returning. Sid removes his turban and goes outside again. Ranbir comes back and asks Sid to check his phone and tells that he has messaged him all the details of Mihika's hospital. He asks him to be with her and fight for her. He asks him to entertain him and be at his side until he returns. He says, I will not let you get a good chance again to marry Prachi. He says he will come there. Sid leaves. Ranbir thinks from where to get the similar clothes and things to check in his room. Rhea asks Aliyah how Mihika was rescued and taken to the hospital. Aliyah says he's trying to reach her men, but they are not picking the call. She says Bablu had gone there with his wife and sent me the pic. She says it is good that we came to know everything before. Sid plays the game. The groom comes in, Sarah. Rhea goes to the groom thinking him to be Sid, but he is Ranbir. She threatens him to marry Prachi and gives him last warning, saying he has seen the photo and has to pay a big price. Ranbir hears her and sits on the mandap, thinks he will marry Prachi now. Shahana is sitting as bride and thinks, God, please don't get me married to Sid. It was okay if I had married Ranbir. Pandit Ji asks bride to keep her hand on groom's hand. Ranbir realizes it's not Prachi's hand. He peeps inside her veil and sees Shahana. He asks what is she doing here. He asks her to go and send Prachi. Shahana says she has no problem to marry him. Ranbir says he has problem. Shahana tells that Prachi made her sit here. Ranbir asks her to go and send Shahana. Shahana gets up from the mandap suddenly and goes inside. Bablu and the goons look at Mihika and come out of the word to go out. Bablu tells that he has seen Mihika here and called and asked Aliyah if she freed her. He says nobody will come to take her. They go outside. Sid comes there and gets emotional seeing Mihika. Mihika asks him to take her home. Sid makes her sit on a wheelchair and takes her out. Shahana brings Prachi there. Prachi doesn't know that Ranbir is sitting as groom and thinks to waste the time. Rhea asks Prachi to sit. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and come back for more updates from your favorite Z Word series.